Hello, welcome to my channel, and my name is Lori. In this video, I wanted to talk about blind faith and the struggle that so many of us go through and are going through as we wake up and remember who we are and remember that there's a purpose for us here, right? There's a reason for us being here, and what is that, and why am I not doing that, and why is it so hard? Why is it such a struggle? Why am I constantly being pulled back or stopped by fear? It's a real issue out there, and it's part of waking up. It's part of the ascension process. So many, including myself, have gone through it and continue to go through it. And what I find is that it always comes back to blind faith. And here's what I mean by that. When we are shifting into higher frequencies of light, we are beginning to be asked by our higher selves to begin to live in different ways. And they want us to step out of old paradigms, step out of old belief systems, and begin to open up and walk into new systems of thought, new systems of belief, new paradigms, new ways of living. And we can't see it. We can listen to people that are doing it, right? But it's such a new experience that there's not enough people doing it that we can grasp that paradigm and say, oh my God, it's real. I'm trusting that, right? There is a huge paradigm around, I need to go somewhere, sit, work, and then I go home, and in 2 weeks or 1 week or a month, I receive a check and I get my money, right? That's a paradigm that we believe in. So it's very structured. Everybody believes in it. Everybody does it, right? It's very simple and easy to buy into, because that is the really old paradigm, old meaning in ages, that we have bought into, and that is our reality. So it's safe. I go somewhere, I do a service, and this person, or even yourself, let's just say you are your own boss, you get paid. It's comforting. You know how the system works. What's happening as we wake up into the fact that we are these multidimensional beings that have the ability to co-create and manifest anything we want, and we're also here for a purpose. That purpose is typically not always going to be doing what you're doing right now. And I say not always because there are thousands of light workers, which I've talked about before, that are here solely to hold light. So it doesn't matter what they're doing in their everyday life to make money. They are conduits of light. There are grid workers out there that can do normal jobs and still be grid workers, still go out and do the work they're here to do. So it's all unique based on what you contracted to do when you came down here, or what you contracted to do when you decided to be a volunteer when you sunk with the Lemurian continent or the Atlantean continent. So there is a purpose. Every single one of us has that. And we are waking up to that purpose, and we want to start to do our purpose work, right? So what we're being asked to look at is this paradigm that exists, which is, hey, guess what? Here's your purpose work over here. Guess what? It's not safe yet, right? Nobody's standing here providing you money. Nobody's standing here saying, here's a check every week. Here's money coming in every week, right? And so every single one of us has our unique path to get to our purpose. And depending upon how big the fear is, it might take us a while, okay? And so what we have to have is this idea of blind faith, which means I can't see how this is going to work. Most of us can't. And this goes for many things. This is blind faith is like the one super important thing to really hold as we start walking into new paradigms, and new belief systems, which is new ways of living. Basically, all this means is what we're walking into new ways of living as higher dimensional beings. We cannot live the way we lived and the way we're living now as we shift frequencies. If you ask yourself right now, are there people in my life that I can't associate with any longer? Are there experiences that I've been doing that I can't do anymore? Is there a job that I've been doing that I can't do anymore? I can't, meaning it doesn't resonate, it doesn't feel good, it's not feeling good anymore, right? That's you shifting into higher frequencies of light. And so what we're battling between, well, this is natural, not natural, take that back. This is normal. This is what I've always done. This is what everybody else does. This feels safe. I know this, right? This is not what I want to be doing. I don't want to be with these people, or I don't want to be doing these activities, or I don't want to be doing this job, but it's what you do. You're being asked to move over here, right? To start calling in new people in your life, new experiences in your life, to begin to trust that your purpose work is here and that you can move towards it, right? That this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is where you're supposed to be going. It's an internal feeling, right? You can't see it though. You can't see this stuff yet. It's like a mean trick in the ascension process, because if they being your guides, your higher self, these beautiful beings of light that work with us, if they could just show us a picture, hey, this is what it looks like. You're totally fine. You're totally safe. You're protected. As you start walking, things are going to open. Doors are going to open. Money's going to come. If they could tell us that and show us, because we're human beings, we need to see. We have to see. Please show me. I need to see first before I trust, right? They're not. It doesn't happen that way. It does not happen that way. And so what's happening to all of us is that not all of us, some of us, is we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting for the sign. Again, a sign is something you see most of the time or feel deeply, and that's not going to happen. That's not blind faith. You got to have blind faith. Blind faith, you don't have signs all the time, right? You just trust what you're being given by your higher self, what's opening in front of you. Blind faith is saying, okay, I know this is here. I know I have a purpose. I know that I'm supposed to be doing this. I know this doesn't feel good. I've got to start to move towards this, right? I've got to take baby steps, baby steps towards this. Maybe that means I design a website. Maybe that means I start talking about it. Maybe that means I start to do whatever internally is inside of me that wants to come out. I just start doing it for free somewhere. Right? You've got to take baby steps, and these baby steps are inside of you. So if you can sit quietly for 5 minutes and listen, you'll know. And then what you have to do is blindly move, trust, go, right? And again, you're not going to see anything. And the only way that you begin to trust it is by doing it, right? So as you start to do it, you begin to trust. But what happens is we have so much fear around all of it. And it feels so comfortable to just stay in what is normal or old, comforting. It's comforting. And then you go back to anger because this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You don't want to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing this, right? But then you start to look at this and you don't know how this is going to happen. So then you go back to this, and this can be anything, not just your purpose work. And when you're in this, you're like, this sucks. I've done this. I have done this a very long time until I finally committed 100%. I did this back and forth, right? And what I ended up doing was committing 100% out loud to myself, to my guides, to my higher self, to every single being that works with me, that I'm committing 100% no matter what that means. And when you commit 100% and say, I'm in, then you start, it's like when you want a goal, when you want something, when you really want something, okay, you're going to give everything you have. You're going to give up everything. You're going to do it. Okay, so you also have to get real clear on what you really, really want and be okay with whatever that is and wherever you are in that. If you're not ready to go 100% in to the purpose work, be okay with that. Go the 50%. Start to think about it. Start to look at it, right? But just remember that it's blind. Everything is dark. You can't see. That's the natural way of walking into new paradigms. You won't be able to see it until you're there. It's a trick. It's a beautiful trick, but it's how we are shifting into higher frequencies. Okay? We can't, I don't know why this is the way it is, but this is the way it is. So you have to just know, oh, this is the way it is. It's not going to be easy. Okay, even though everything's easy, I've talked about this before, everything is easy. Everything is meant to be easy. But as a human being, you have to have the courage, and the courage is hard. The trusting is hard. But the actual process of doing it is easy. Once you step in and just say, okay. So what this means for, let's just talk about somebody that's working in, I don't know, a school or a hospital or a bank or in, or a corporation of some sort, right? And it's like, this is not me. I'm supposed to be doing my work, whatever that is. And you're stuck because this amount of money's coming in and it's really comfortable. And how are you going to live without this money? And so you start to begin to play around with this idea. And you don't just take this leap and just jump. If that's not comfortable for you, by all means, don't do this. This is your life. You make it the way you want it to go. You design it the way you want it to go and feel and be. And there's no right or wrong to that. But what you have to start to do is, one, understand that you're shifting from one paradigm to a different paradigm, and that this paradigm over here is not going to appear with a vision and a screen and showing you step by step. It's not going to do that. There's not going to be a beautiful screen. You can push play and you can just watch how it's all going to unfold. Okay? The way it unfolds is never the way you expect, and the way that it unfolds is miraculous and abundant and full of joy and full of all kinds of other stuff as well. Okay? But you can't see it. And this is for anything. Again, I'm going back to the fact that this is not just for purpose work. This could be about the divine partner you're bringing in. This could be about new, more aligned friendships that you're bringing in. This could be a new house that you're bringing in, a move that you want to do, anything. This could be, I don't know, you name it. But this is a new paradigm that we are being pulled and asked to walk into as multidimensional beings. Okay, is trusting without being able to see that this is waiting, that this is here, that we can walk blindly into it. Close our eyes. Here we go. You don't have to close your eyes. You can't see it anyways, right? You just start walking. You just start moving towards it. You just start trusting that it's there. And then once you do that, and once you start to move with it, move towards it, trusting, okay, you'll start to see. And the more you start to see, it's almost like imagining that this purpose is right here and you're like, it's all blurry, but as you start to walk towards it, it starts to clear up, and you get closer and closer to it, it starts to get more and more clear. And then the next thing you know, you're standing right in front of it and you're doing the purpose work, and it's this beautiful, bright picture, and you can finally see it all, but it's not like that until you get right there, until you start really doing it. So you have to just come into trust. You have to sit quietly and listen. You have to spend time with nothing, quiet contemplation, listening to your voice, listening to your higher self, listening to that guidance. Don't beat yourself up when you're in this fear. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Do your best to not beat yourself up. It's okay how much time it's taking you. It's okay. It's okay the fear that's coming in. Be conscious of it. Be aware of it. Be aware of the back and forth. Okay? Just don't shut this off. Don't shut off whatever it is over here, this new paradigm you're walking into. Don't shut it off. Be okay with how you're moving back and forth with it, and know that this is how it's designed. It's designed for you to really come into deep, deep trust and knowing, and having that really blind faith. And if you know that that's how it works and that's how it's going to be, then you can kind of relax and be like, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to be. I just got to keep going, No expectations of being shown or being given it. And design it the way you want, If you want to go into a part-time job, or if you want to, keep your old friends but start to venture out and see what else is out, create or design these new friendships to come in, and let the universe, let your higher self, let your guides provide the way, the how it's going to look. Let them do that. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about how you're going to do it. You just have to start to visualize and move towards whatever that is. So instead of constantly focusing on this that you don't want anymore, you just turn and you start to concentrate, you start to look at, you start to focus, you start to feel into what it is that you're moving into. That includes your purpose work, right? So maybe just imagining that website, right? Draw a picture of that website. Draw a picture of the name of your company, okay? Just baby steps. Start to see yourself doing whatever work you're going to do, even if you're not doing it yet. Start to see money coming into your bank account directly to whatever your company is. Start to create it in very creative ways, okay? So even though you're still here and you're still struggling with trying to let go of all this safety coming in, the money, start to see and create the money over here. Start to watch it come in. I can tell you that when I took my big jump and I took my big leap from the private equity firm, I didn't go straight from private equity right into my work. I quit private equity and I started teaching yoga full time, and went on a very strict budget and started to create anything I could think of that I might be able to do with people. And I put all my focus there. I no longer focused on, oh, these checks aren't coming in. I focused on, oh, I'm being provided for. I am walking into my service work. Therefore, I will not starve. I will not die. I will not be without. They are going to take care of me because I am committing to this, the purpose that I'm here on the planet. So they're not going to let me starve. That would be crazy. And they have never not provided financially for me from that day forward. So I did a gradual jump. I taught yoga full time, was making half the money I was making before, but I was somehow being provided for. Okay, I just budgeted and I made that sacrifice. So there's sacrifices along the way that you're gonna have to make if this is important. Okay, and if you don't believe in making sacrifices, because I believe my journey was I'm gonna have to make sacrifices. Okay. So I made sacrifices. If you don't believe that and you're like, I'm not going to have to make sacrifices, you're not going to have to. You don't have to make sacrifices. That's the paradigm that I'm believing in. And until I don't believe in that any longer, I won't have to make sacrifices. But for now, I believe in me having to make sacrifices in order to do my service work. And that's dwindling. But just be aware of that also, right? Do you believe that you're going to have to make sacrifices? If not, by all means, freaking let it come in, right? Don't make sacrifices. I did. And so once I settled into the shift in not making as much money, I think I did that for about 7 months. And then they told me, my higher self and guides were like, okay, now you need to move to Mount Shasta and live off of your work that you're doing, not teaching. And that would have brought my money down even more because I wasn't doing as much client work at that time. And that was scary. And so, but I knew that if I committed to doing this work, my service work, that I'd be provided for. So I moved. I moved to a town called Mount Shasta, and it was cheap. And I had my spiritual partner at that time. He was bringing in a lot more money at that time. It was perfect the way it worked. And so he started to pay for my rent. And so the universe gave him extra income so that he could help me with my rent while I made this jump. That's how it works, okay? I didn't design that. I didn't say, hey, you, beautiful spiritual partner Joe, when you start making tons of money, that's when I'm gonna jump. It happened at the exact same time. Neither of us were aware of it. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm bringing in extra income, I'm gonna pay your rent. I jumped, I said I'm moving before I knew this. Okay, so that's how the universe works. I said, okay, I don't know how I'm going to make money. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, but okay, I'm going to do it. And 3 weeks later, Joe said, I can help you. I can pay for your rent for, a certain amount of months until you start to really dive into your work. And that's what happened. And then from that point forward, my work has exploded and I've been supporting myself, and it's gotten more and more successful and more abundant every single month. And So that's how it works. It's like you do it the way you want to do it. You design it the way it's comfortable for you. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. It's your way. What is comfortable for you? Forget about what everyone else has done. And remember, okay, that when you say yes and you're like, I am committed, this is it, whether it's purpose work, whether it is bringing in your divine partner, because if you bring in your divine partner, they're probably going to ask you to get rid of stuff over here or maybe heal stuff within here, right? Anything you commit to, new friendships, anything it is, okay? There's going to be stuff that you're going to have to let go of to move into this higher frequency state. A divine partner is a higher frequency state, okay? More enlightened, aligned friends is a higher frequency state. So when you start to move into these higher frequency states, you're going to be asked to clear stuff, right? Fear, resistance, not being worthy, not being loved, whatever is going to come up when you start to move into these higher frequencies states, higher frequencies of living, right? Manifesting these things, all kinds of stuff's going to need to be cleared out. You know, things are going to have to be left behind. That's part of it. So just know that that's going to be part of the journey, right? But create it the way you want it. Design it the way you want it. And know that as you start moving towards these things with blind faith, not seeing it, but knowing that it's there, the universe, your guides, your higher self, and these beautiful beings of light will open the doors, will provide every single thing you need in miraculous ways. I'm telling you, I've seen it happen in my life. That's the only reason I'm sharing this, is because I know it's happening right now for me in my life, right? And it's having blind faith that I'm not going to see it and it's going to manifest for me. And it does every single time. And when I find myself in fear, I just sit with the fear. It's going to go away, you know? I sit with the fear. Okay, I've got fear. I also know that I'm going to come out of fear and keep moving. So I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Comment. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about more. Is there something that you want me to dive deeper into? I feel like I only have a certain amount of time on YouTube and I don't want to speak for an hour on these videos. But if there's anything that you want me to touch on or talk about, comment down below and ask me about it. And if I have any information on it, if I have any experience, I'll share. I only share on these videos, I only share my experience. So I don't share about things I've read. I don't share about things I've heard. I only share what's my reality, what's my experience, what's my feeling, what I've seen, what I've gone through, what my clients have moved through. So ask, and if I have experience on it and I know anything about it, I'll share. Or if you want me to dive deeper into my own personal story, I can do that as well. But I share this with you to just remind you that it's not always easy in terms of going from one to the next, one paradigm to the next paradigm, including doing your purpose work. But once you start to move, it's designed to be effortless and easy. But this back and forth is challenging. It's hard, okay? It's just part of the human experience. It's hard. But once you commit and you move into this space of, okay, I'm committing, I'm going, right? And you still kind of move back and forth, you'll watch. It'll be a little bit easier, and then a little bit easier, and then a little bit easier. But it takes a lot of blind faith, a lot. There's this parable. Let me just do this really fast. There is a parable by Creon, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Lee Carroll. That long time ago, he wrote a book, The Parables of Creon, I think, in the 90s. And there's this parable on there about this man that is walking down a road and he's asked to go, he's being called to go across this river. And as he's walking, it's dark and he's noticing there's no bridge to get across the river, but he's being told he needs to go across the river. And so he's walking and walking, and the closer he gets to this bridge, there's no bridge. And yet he is being told, you're going to cross that river. You're going to be fine. You're going to cross that river. You need to get to the other side. And so he keeps walking. And as he's walking, he's like, how am I going to get across the river? There's no freaking bridge. all I see is a huge space, right? And he keeps going and he hears, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to get across. You're going to get across. You're going to get across. And literally the second he starts to walk closer and closer to where that cliff is, and he looks to the left, and there's this bridge that he didn't see from back there, right? He could only see it when he got up close. And when he got up close to where he imagined that bridge was supposed to be, he turned to the left and there was the bridge. Okay, but he couldn't see it until he got right up to it. So he had to push through his fear, push through his fear, push through his fear. Okay, knowing that what he saw in front of him was no bridge. He couldn't see that other bridge until he got right up to it. But what pulled him, what kept him going, was that knowingness that he was going to get to the other side. The knowingness that he was going to be on the other side of that bridge, that he had to, that was what he was being called to do. And so he walked over the bridge and he was on the other side. But he never saw that bridge until he got right up to it. That's how walking into new paradigms works. That's blind faith. Can't see it until you get right up to it. And then boom, you're in it. And it's like, tink, very easy. So hold that parable in your consciousness and in your knowingness, that's how it works. You know, you're being called, you keep going, you keep pushing, and I promise you that little bridge will pop over and you'll be able to just easily walk through. But you got to just keep going. You got to keep going. And as you're going, be very okay with all the humanness, the anger, the frustration, the fear, the rage. Rage will be big. All of it, you know. Not being worthy, screw this whole new earth freaking ascension thing, whatever's popping in, right? Just let it. Just keep going, okay? If you have to fall down and sit on the side of the road for a while and cry, do it, but get back up and keep going. Don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. Well, if you quit, that's okay too. That's part of your process. But come back. Get back on the road if you can. So anyways, if you're interested in that book, I'll put the link down below as well. It's got great parables. And that's my favorite one. I keep that one in my mind all the time because that's my life. I think that's how all of us are walking into this new reality, is that kind of visual. Anyways, okay, my loves, I love you all so much. Thank you for listening. Comment below if there's anything you want me to touch on in other videos. Comment below. And I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.